stand still, and T-Rex can't see you. At least that's what the movie told you. It's wrong, and that's just the first of 13 prehistoric predator myths we're about to bust. Let's get started. Myth 1. T-Rex couldn't see you if you stood still. A single movie line convinced millions of people that T-Rex had weak eyesight. It didn't. Studies mapping its binocular vision found a field of view of roughly 55 degrees, wider than a modern hawk's, giving it sharp depth perception whether prey was moving or not. A wide forward-facing skull with a narrow snout kept both eyes locked on the same target, the way a sniper scope clears a barrel. Researchers compared skull structure and eye socket angles across 7 theropod species, and T-Rex came out on top of nearly all of them, including most of its own relatives. In practice, it likely had some of the best vision of any land animal that has ever existed. Standing still wouldn't have saved anyone. Myth 2. T-Rex roared like a lion. Every T-Rex scene in every movie comes with the same sound, a huge, open-mouthed roar borrowed from a lion. Real T-Rex almost certainly didn't sound like that. It lacked the vocal cord anatomy mammals use to roar. What's the real sound then? Based on its closest living relatives, birds and crocodilians, it likely had closed-mouth vocalization. Low, resonant sounds pushed through air sacs in the neck and chest with the mouth shut. Researchers studying over 200 bird and crocodilian species found this closed-mouth booming evolved independently at least 16 times, suggesting large archosaurs like T-Rex were very likely doing the same. Think less lion's roar, more the deep boom of an ostrich or the growl of a crocodile, a sound you'd feel through the ground before you heard it. Myth 3. T-Rex's tiny arms were completely useless. T-Rex's arms are a running joke, comically short and endlessly mocked as an evolutionary afterthought. Calling them useless is where the myth breaks down. Research published in 2026 found a consistent pattern across predatory dinosaur lineages. As skulls grew larger and jaws more powerful, arms shrank in step, again and again, in unrelated groups. That's a trade-off, not neglect. Once a bite alone could kill something the size of a small building, massive arms stopped paying their way, and the head took over as the primary weapon. If not decoration, what were they for? Researchers have proposed several options: pinning prey at close range, pushing the animal back up off the ground, and holding on during mating. No consensus yet on which mattered most, but useless isn't one of the options left standing. Myth 4. The saber-toothed tiger was a tiger. That label gets used everywhere, in documentaries, museums, casual conversation. It's wrong. Smilodon wasn't even closely related to a tiger. It belongs to an entirely separate, extinct branch of the cat family tree that split off long before tigers or lions existed. The resemblance is convergent evolution. Smilodon and a tiger arrived at a similar body plan the same way a shark and a dolphin arrived at a similar shape, by solving the same problem, not sharing ancestry. Even the label itself is a popular nickname, not a term paleontologists actually use. The accurate name is simply Smilodon, or saber-toothed cat. Calling it a tiger is like calling a dolphin a fish, close enough to feel right, wrong enough to matter. Myth 5. Dire wolves were just bigger gray wolves. Dire wolves look like gray wolves. So for decades, scientists assumed they basically were gray wolves, just heavier. Were they? A 2021 genetic study said, no. Researchers sequenced DNA from dire wolf fossils, some over 50,000 years old, and found dire wolves and gray wolves share a common ancestor roughly 5.7 million years ago, and never interbred since. That's not a close relationship. That's an entirely separate lineage, evolving in North America while gray wolves evolved on a different continent, discovered almost by accident during unrelated genetic research. The two ended up looking nearly identical anyway. Same size, same pack behavior, same hunting style, purely because similar lifestyles tend to produce similar bodies. Genetically, a dire wolf is barely more closely related to a gray wolf than to a jackal. Myth 6. T-Rex was the biggest predator to ever exist. Tyrannosaurus Rex gets that title constantly. It wasn't, not by length. Who does hold that record? Spinosaurus, a fish-eating theropod from North Africa, is estimated at around 15 meters long, compared to roughly 12 to 13 meters for the largest known T-Rex, the longest predatory dinosaur ever confidently identified, and not especially close. T-Rex's more compact, densely muscled frame likely made it the heavier animal, and probably the more devastating close-range fighter, built like a battering ram rather than a spear. But length is length, and on that measurement, T-Rex isn't even the record holder among dinosaurs. Myth 7. Velociraptor was the size of a person. The raptors from Jurassic Park stand roughly 2 meters tall, terrifyingly close to human height. Real Velociraptor looked nothing like that. Adult fossils put it at 14 to 20 kilograms, roughly the size of a large turkey, about 50 centimeters tall at the hip, and almost certainly covered in feathers. The movies were actually describing a much larger raptor, called Deinonychus, borrowing its proportions while keeping Velociraptor's scarier-sounding name. The real Velociraptor was still a sharp, fast predator, built for quick strikes on small prey. It just wouldn't have needed a kitchen door to keep it out. Myth 8. Velociraptor used its claw to slash prey open. That curved sickle claw on the raptor's foot gets shown one way in every movie, as a blade, slashing bellies open in a single swipe. What was the claw really for? A 2011 study comparing it to modern birds of prey proposed a different use, called raptor prey restraint. Instead of slashing, the claw likely worked as a hook. The animal would leap onto prey, pin it down with its body weight, and drive the claws in to grip and anchor itself. The same technique eagles and hawks use to hold struggling prey still. The kill probably came from repeated bites, not one dramatic slash. Less a switchblade, more a built-in grappling hook, less flashy than the movies, but more effective since a pinned animal has almost no way to fight back. Myth 9. Spinosaurus and T-Rex actually fought. Thanks to one blockbuster scene, this might be the most widely believed prehistoric predator myth of all. Spinosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rex never fought, and it isn't close. Spinosaurus lived in North Africa roughly 100 to 94 million years ago. T-Rex lived in North America roughly 68 to 66 million years ago, a gap of 30 million years, and an ocean apart. They never bred, never met, never had the chance. So what was Spinosaurus built for? Its body is immediately off for a land predator. Short hind legs, a forward-shifted center of mass, a long, narrow skull with conical teeth built for gripping something slippery, and nostrils set high and back to stay clear of the water. A 2014 skeleton confirmed unusually dense bones, built-in ballast for an animal spending real time partially submerged. A 2020 tail turned up broad and paddle-shaped, more like a crocodile's than any land dinosaurs. Not every scientist agrees how aquatic it was. A 2021 study found the tail surprisingly inefficient for sustained swimming, favoring a wading, heron-like style instead, while a 2022 bone density study swung back toward genuine diving. Paleontologists are still arguing over exactly how it hunted, but everyone agrees it was a dedicated fish-eating specialist, not a land-based brawler. At an estimated 15 meters, Spinosaurus is the longest predatory dinosaur ever identified, longer than T-Rex. But it was built long and lean for water, not packed with the dense muscle T-Rex carried for a bone-crushing bite. Two very different kinds of impressive, mashed into a fight neither animal was built to have. The real drama is the rivals it actually shared its river system with. Carcharodontosaurus, a 13-meter land-hunting theropod with blade-like teeth, and Sarcosuchus, a crocodile relative past 11 meters. Those two, not T-Rex, were Spinosaurus's real neighborhood threats. Myth 10. Megalodon might still be out there. The ocean is huge and largely unexplored, which is exactly the gap this myth lives in. It isn't out there. When did it truly disappear? The most reliable fossil evidence, based on the youngest confirmed teeth ever found, places its extinction around 3.6 million years ago, a million years earlier than older estimates. No Megalodon tooth younger than that has ever turned up, and sharks shed thousands of teeth in a lifetime. So an animal that size surviving undetected for millions of years without a trace isn't plausible. Deep-sea exploration keeps turning up strange creatures nobody expected to still exist, but never anything close to Megalodon's scale. The likely cause of its extinction: cooling oceans shrinking its warm coastal habitat, a decline in the whale prey it depended on, and competition from a smaller, faster rival spreading through the same waters at the same time, the great white shark. Myth 11. These predators were slow, cold-blooded reptiles. For most of the 20th century, prehistoric predators were pictured as sluggish, cold-blooded lizards dragging their tails through swamps. That picture is outdated. Bone growth rates, skeletal structure, and their close relationship to birds all point to most theropods running hot, active, fast-growing, with a metabolism somewhere between a modern reptile and mammal. Tail dragging is out too. Skeletal reconstructions and fossil trackways show most large theropods walked with their tails held stiff and level. Speed estimates from those same trackways put many mid-sized theropods running faster than a fast human sprinter. Nothing a true swamp-dragging lizard could manage. This was an active, efficient hunter, closer to a fast-moving bird of prey than a sluggish crocodile. Myth 12. Smilodon killed with a crushing neck bite. Modern big cats like lions often kill by clamping down on the throat and holding on until prey suffocates. Smilodon almost certainly didn't hunt that way. How did it kill, exactly? Biomechanical studies put its bite force at a fraction of a modern lion's, and its saber teeth were fragile, well suited to one precise strike, but at real risk of snapping against bone or a thrashing animal. The likely strategy: pin the prey down with its powerful forelimbs, then deliver one fast, accurate bite to the throat or belly. Not a wrestling match, a single surgical strike, over almost as soon as it started. Myth 13. Every giant prehistoric predator was a dinosaur. Say those words and most people picture a dinosaur by default. Plenty of the biggest, most dangerous predators in Earth's history weren't. What were they instead? Megalodon was a shark. Mosasaurus was a giant marine reptile, closer to modern monitor lizards than to any dinosaur. Sarcosuchus was a crocodile relative that rivaled a bus in length. Pterosaurs, the flying reptiles people call pterodactyls, weren't dinosaurs either, a completely separate branch of the same reptile family tree. Several of these animals were competing with, or preying on, actual dinosaurs at the same time, in the same rivers, coastlines, and skies. Dinosaur and giant prehistoric predator get used interchangeably, but they were never the same category. 13 myths, and everyone traces back to the same thing: a movie scene, an outdated textbook, or a name that stuck long after the science moved on. Real depth perception beat: if it doesn't move, it can't see you. Real anatomy beat a borrowed lion's roar. Real biomechanics beat a running joke about tiny arms. Real genetics beat a convenient family resemblance. Every single time, the truth turned out stranger and more impressive than the myth it replaced. Which of these 13 surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you want more prehistoric predator myths busted with real science, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This is far from the last movie scene we're correcting on primal killers. The real story was always wilder than the myth. See you next time.